The three songs we just finished singing covered today's topic very well. The first one was an alternate version of This Little Light of Mine, and the words are repeated, I'm gonna let my love light shine. I won't let hatred, bigotry, or religion blow it out. And while most of us agree with that sentiment, how often do we find ourselves reacting negatively when we discover someone has a significant difference from what we've always considered to be normal and good? Different skin color? No problem. Who cares? Different weight or level of intelligence? Doesn't matter. Different sexual orientation? Now, this is a sticking point for more people, especially those whose religion teaches them that once that person falls in love, as people in love tend to do, has a romantic relationship with their beloved, they somehow become an abomination to that religion's God. That's why we sang, Won't Let Religion Blow It Out, reaffirming that I'm gonna let my love light shine. Don't have any problem with those three examples? Well, good on you. Let's keep going until we find one that you find unacceptable. How about, a pedophile? Now, of course, we immediately think of someone who sexually abuses children, but that isn't necessarily the case. Let's back up all the way to heterosexuality for a moment and pretend that the only way for someone with opposite sex attractions could be sexually intimate with someone is for them to force themselves on that person or to be with someone who is emotionally unable to give consent. Now, you'd probably agree that this would be a serious problem. And if someone acted on their desires regardless of the fact that they were violating someone else, we would need to take measures to protect others from them. But what if that person did not and would not violate someone else regardless of their desires? Not only would most of us not judge them, but we would instead most likely think even more highly of them because of it. The dictionary defines pedophile as a person who is sexually attracted to children. And I do have a reason for bringing up this example. Just hang in there with me for a few more minutes. Now, the very definition we just read tends to fill us with feelings of animosity toward the person wearing that label. After all, our children are innocent and mostly unable to defend themselves. And most of us are rightly outraged when someone hurts them. The damage done to a child who is a victim of this type of abuse lasts for their entire lives. They can develop eating disorders, serious relationship issues, social maladies, and they're more likely to hurt themselves, attempt suicide, and then become abusers themselves. So, it's a very serious crime. But let's step into the shoes of the good pedophile who does not harm children. And once we have accomplished this, I think that you'll find it is much easier to understand other people as well. Imagine with me that you are the one who has strong desires upon which you cannot act. A person who does not have your inner strength might give in to those desires. A person who does not have as much respect for others as you do might violate the innocent and helpless to satisfy their own needs. But you will not. And because you really are an incredibly good person, you realize that you will never have a satisfying romantic relationship if you ever have any romantic relationship at all. The inner pain of this conflict is always with you. You might even be ashamed of who you are and of the things about yourself that you cannot change. And then because you cannot bear the weight of your secret any longer, you confide in someone who turns out to not be worthy of your trust. And they treat you like a disgusting monster, like a piece of worthless trash. Before long, everyone else knows. They hide their children when you walk down the street. They stop talking to you, and you can feel their fear of and hatred for you. A monster, a fiend, a horrible, evil devil who shouldn't be allowed to work, eat, breathe, or even live. And you find yourself in your bathroom, empty and alone, without hope, without anyone who can understand what it's like to be you. You want to cry, but there are no tears left. And as you open the medicine cabinet, you realize that it would be so easy to end the pain, to end the judgment, to escape from the hateful glances, the mistrust, the disdain. Just a bottle of whiskey and a handful of pills, and it could all be over. And then you wake up and you realize it was just a dream. You are not that other person. You do not have those struggles. You do not have to choose to live a life alone because of desires that you did not choose. And you also realize that this does not make you any better than the person you dreamed you were. In fact, you are humbled by the fact that they are the more moral among us because their morality comes at a much higher price. And that, my friends, is true empathy. Stepping fully into the shoes of someone else, feeling what they feel, being mentally and emotionally where they are. And here, in this place, I want you to feel safe. No matter what your struggles, what your differences, what your uniquenesses, there are those who will love you unconditionally and respect the good and amazing person you are. And then after that song, we sang Lean on Me. You know, it is so important for us to have someone on whom we can lean. And because of this, we should be there for others. You aren't better than someone else just because you are more comfortable with how you are than you are with how they are. They could feel the same way about you. Be that listening ear. Be that shoulder to cry on. Be that understanding soul who has practiced the skill of putting yourself fully into their shoes. It is a skill, and I personally think it's one that should be a required course in schools. We need less hatred. We need less judgment. We need less us versus them. If our children see us stepping out of our own little worlds and into the inner workings of another person's soul, they are very likely to learn to do the same thing. And who knows, if we witnessed and learned this as children, perhaps school shootings would be a thing of the past. When there is no us and no them, but only we, this world will be a much more beautiful place to live. And finally, we ended with the song, loves what I'm going to do. And I hope we make that decision every time we interact with someone who is vastly different from us in some way. Now, of course, if someone is hurting others, that needs to end. When we have to choose between a victim and an abuser, we obviously need to protect the victim and prevent others from being hurt as well. But most people are good. Most people are caring. Most people don't want to hurt others. Most people are willing and ready to help those in need, to love those who feel empty and alone, and to seek for the good of others, even if it causes some inconvenience for themselves. And we can and should all continue to learn and grow to become even better, more loving, more understanding, and more compassionate as we let others know with our words and our deeds, you are safe to be who you are and to share your burdens with me. Let's go ahead and close with a time of reflection as we let today's message sink in. Whenever you need to go, you're dismissed, and if you can stay for a while, you're invited to hang out with us in the garden out front of the church, and we're just going to hang out for a while and chat. And if you need to talk with someone, if you want to open up, if you want to let us know what's going on in your life, you can instant message one of us, or if you're listening outside of Second Life, you can go to almcyberchurch.org and click the director's offices link, and you can contact us that way. For now, let's consider how we can choose the love that can set us all free.